What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Black Butler, Season 5, Episode 5. So in this one, Wolfram catches Sebastian and Snake trying to investigate the hidden room, and he tells them to leave, and he says, "If you try this again, I will kill you." Sebastian's like, "Okay." Then later, Seal still, traumatized by stuff. He and Finn are attacked by a werewolf. Finn uses his super strength to knock the werewolf back. He protects Shield. He gets slashed on the back, so he has like scars from the werewolf attack. And yeah, the werewolf leaves, and then all the everyone else comes in the room when they hear after hearing the loud sounds, and then basically they're like, yeah, werewolf attacked, and Sullivan is like, there's no way the werewolves would attack the castle. So she goes down to like the hidden room to perform this ritual thing to like I guess appease the werewolves. And like there's all these werewolves like surrounding her and Wolfram. And then like after that Seal's having like a conversation with himself. Well, seemingly with himself. Well, I'm not gonna get into spoilers. I can get into spoilers about it. And basically, Seal's not his right mind right now, and Sebastian, he doesn't know what to do how to listen to Seal because like part of the deal contract is he has to obey Seal, and Seal says he wants to go home, but due to Seal's frame of mind, he doesn't know if these are orders he should follow by the contract rules. So, Tonica tells everyone that just let Seal rest, he'll be fine. Then basically after that, the queen is informed about some of the plant specimens from the werewolf forest, and basically her like special knights, like her Black Ops team. They're shocked at how like Seal and Sebastian could send the plants from Germany to London in such a quick time, but this is Sebastian we're talking about. Then Queen is shocked, but her attendant John like soothes her nerves using this sock puppet. It's like, well, this little puppet, not a sock, but it's a puppet. So it's kind of funny. That bit's actually kind of funny. And so then the queen writes this letter to ask for the werewolf to be killed. Now, and then basically like and and so Seal, while he's talking with himself, there's something about proof of an alt of his sin. Now, I know what sin he's referring to. I'm not saying what it is. It is a big spoiler for probably the finale of this season. If it's not the finale of this season, it's probably like the beginning of next season. And Oscar, he's doing some investigating. He has his snakes going around. His snake. Oscar sees like Sullivan doing her ritual. Then one of the female servants, like Oscar, basically crawls, slithers onto her, basically like goes down into her cleavage and under all the way through her under like so basically Sebastian has to pull Oscar out of from under her dress. It's kind of a humorous scene, and then Oscar like tells Snake that because we know Snake is able to understand snakes, and he repeats a lot of what they say. Explains that basically Oscar noticed that the woman she smelt like a werewolf. And then and around when that happens, all the villagers gathering, and then they ask Sullivan to beg like they asked Sullivan to get the outsiders out because they don't want outsiders. They're saying that's why the werewolves are mad. That's why they attacked the castle. And then and so Nate and Sebastian, while they're talking, um, basically, yeah, basically they're approached by you know they're yeah they're approached by John Brown, the attendant, who comes with this letter, has an X on it, and then basically like it looks like it's a mark of elimination. What it means, who knows? It's also how John was able to get past all, but I mean, given what we've seen from those people, like from that specific group of basically like personal assassins for the queen, we know that that guy could probably get past a lot of things. Now, why he wasn't affected by the miasma, who knows? Maybe I mean, a lot will be revealed later in this arc, but looks like a kill order is being issued by the Queen of England for the werewolves. Now, how she could do that with something that's going on in Germany, I don't know. That is probably something she has to work out with the German with the German government, or what form of German government exists there. I mean, it's a little complicated. Yeah, because how Germany was in that time period, basically it's not as like I mean it was kind of united at later on. Now I don't know if that would have been the case in this time period. And then but if this is like late 1800s, maybe Germany's a united nation under like the Bismarcks, like the Kaisers. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What is that? There seems to be a kill order issued for the. So this is not just an investigation. Like, as the Queen's Watchdog is meant to investigate things. This is a kill order. So that's a little above. And what this is so probably if it's not like a special order in regards to what the Phantom Hives are supposed to do, could be something like the like that one like the Trancy family, you know, in season 2 in that filler arc. Could be something like that. You know, like someone else comes in to do a kill order. That may be what happens. I can't say. So yeah, I really like this episode. I'm really looking forward to seeing next week. See, looks like we are about to get more about the werewolves and their secret being revealed. So yeah, look forward to next week. Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers Episode 5. So in this one, we see some stuff with Bridget, briefly. Then we get to like fight involving Unica and Sin. Nerval's there, who's believed to be Unica's father, but it's revealed that Unica is a gear. That she's not human, she's a gear. So Nerval's like, "Oh, you're a gear. All right, you die." And she like does like a command for her to die, but Sin is command for her to live. And to reveal that Unica is a command type gear and is like Sin's younger sister. And like to reveal there was even a DNA test done that proves that. Then then you like basically like then like so then they're contracting like commands cause like this monster appear. It was like, is this what happens? Then like basically so like here's how it goes down. So like this is confusing. So then like Neuro's like his future self who brought Unica from the future will be able to fix things. Then shortly after he says that, the future Nerval appears, basically tells Nerval, not even bringing Unico help for the future helped, and he tells her, "Wow, my past self is really retarded." So he like does like a sing song like thing, and he like absorbs his past self because two versions of the same person can't exist in the same timeline. Now, why that doesn't eliminate him, I don't know. Must be like Terminator rules where it doesn't it must be like Terminator rules where it's basically like an alternate timeline thing, not necessarily a like killing one erases the other. It's probably not that. So as far as like and basically like so yeah, future Nerval has absorbed past Nerval and then yeah. Yeah, I mean things are definitely escalating, things are picking up. Obviously Unica's gonna deal with the fact that she's a gear. How she's gonna mentally process that, I don't know. Then how her and Sin gonna deal with basically potentially causing the Second Crusade or whatever. So yeah, this is an interesting episode. It's an improvement over some of the early ones. There is gradual improvement. Hopefully it gets better. But yeah, I still don't care too much about the characters. This show's not giving me a reason to care, but there is improvement in the quality. So yeah, it's not necessarily a great show. It's not necessarily a good show, but I'm at least interested to see next week, see how things develop. Yaiba, Samurai Legend 2025, Episode 5. So in this one, Yaiba's group comes across this like snail demon sent by Onimaru, who was with the group that attacked them with Snake and Gerozamon. But since the snail was slow, he didn't arrive on time, which is what the spider demon tells Onimaru. And then after defeating the snake, after defeating the snail demon, basically they start heading to Ganru Island, and they come across this person who tells them that they're the millionth customer and have won a free trip to Hot Springs. So they go to Hot Springs. So Yaiba's playing around with his sword. And then so there's like these characters that are trying to spy on them. So obviously, since the Hot Springs, you have the male side and the female side. So you have Yaiba and Musashi in the male pool, like male bath. Then Sayaka's in the female bath, and some reason the bird and tiger are with her. Why they're there, I don't know. Not funny, but for this show, basically, so then Sokka senses that someone's watching her, which there is. She assumes it's Yaiba and throws something at him, and it's like, you pervert. And he's like, what did I do? And so then, Musashi realizing that that's the female side, he's probably thinking there are other women out on that side as well. So he's like, tells Yaiba to train, see how high, how quickly he can climb up the bamboo. So he does climbs quickly, and then you know, basically, this is a it's a freaking and then basically so Saga, who still thinks he's trying to peek, starts spraying. The tiger and the bird start spraying water from hoses at Yaiba. And he's just trying to train. He's not trying to be perverted. He's not even thinking about that. So he basically falls, and then they all eat. And basically he gets a small portion of the meat because and Sokka's like, that's your punishment for being a perv. You know, understandable reasoning on her part. Then so it's revealed that the ones who were actually watching each one, so because someone's watching Sokka in the female side, someone's watching Yaiba and Musashi in the male side. It's revealed to be two of the other demons search working for Onimaru. You have Starfish, Mantis, and Cucumber. Those are three. Two of them were spying on the hot springs, and so the they see the hot spring resort owner tells them that there's another part of the it's like a basically I can't remember the word, but basically it was a haunted house type thing that for Yaiba and Sadako to do. So they basically go to this haunted house. Yaiba keeps his sword in the sheath. You know, Starfish guy tells him, basically they think it's a guy dressed as starfish. They don't think it's a starfish demon. And so basically they start going through, you know, the mantis and sea cucumber each try to scare them, but they fail. Yaiba knocks out mantis by hitting him on the head. Starfish while following Sokka, and Yaiba accidentally steps on, sea cucumber. Then Yaiba and Sokka get to this area. Gets his sword stuck in this rock. It's revealed to have a bunch of really strong glue on it. And the Starfish guy is like, yes, we got you now. Then Mantis and Seacumber arrive. Yaiba lifts the sword with the rock still attached and basically hits those three with the rock and knocks them out. And the sot springs like basically it's like a geyser, like explodes or whatever. So yeah, that then the three demons wake up. You know, basically Yaiba's groups are like, "Hey, y'all alright?" They're like, "Yeah, we were with Onimaru." They're like, "What we do? Onimaru's gonna kill us." And they're like, "You don't have to go with Onimaru." So they're like, "Yeah, we want to go back to our hometown." We show the Starfish guy. He's married. He wants to go back to his wife. And so basically, it's revealed that Ganyu Island, which Yaiba's group is heading towards, is on the way to the hometown of one of those three demons. So, and basically the entire thing was watched by the Spider Demon Onimaru. Spider was like, "Oh no, this is all part of the plan. Yeah, it's not. No, this is all part of the plan." And which we all know it's not part of the plan. So yeah, yeah, this was a very good episode. That was freaking funny. The haunted house stuff was funny. Yeah, the start like, no, and the hot springs scene was freaking hilarious. I mean, hot springs are usually a good source of humor in anime. It usually is because you always have those who try to peak, and they're basically become the butt of the jokes. I mean, like, where it's like, Mineta and My Hero Academia who like gets knocked out by Hoda and then his butt falls on like a Tinyalita's nose. And then obviously, the bathhouse scene from One Piece, the Alabasta arc. Then, terrified teacher, ghoul school, that scene. Like hot springs and the group bath thing, which the whole concept of group bath is weird in of itself. It does provide good humor in anime, and this show is no exception to it. And the demons were cool; they were freaking funny, and yeah, I really like this episode. I'm looking forward to next week's. Genghis Khan: The Secret History of the Mongols. So this is a six-part documentary series that all six episodes were released on Disney Plus and Hulu. Yesterday, Friday, May 2nd. I finished all six episodes by the end of today. Saturday, May 3rd. And so basically like now they aired on National Geographic starting May 1st, first two episodes, and the rest are airing weekly, but they released a full series on streaming. So I watched the entire series. You know, Probably not the best way to do that if you're trying to get ratings, but I don't know if it's a documentary that would get a lot of high ratings anyway. So, and on to the review. So, this documentary covers the life of Genghis Khan. Starts off when he was known as Temujin, with him, you know, killing his older half brother Batur in order to secure his position after his, family was basically abandoned by a tribe after his father died. And then, basically he gets a lot of followers because he's known for being a very charismatic leader, attracts a lot of people, and he forms alliances with Jamuka, and then who's like one basically he's like a sworn brother to him. You know, Basically like they were good friends. Then you have Hogrul, who was the Khan of the Kirites, and then who was the like sworn brother of Yu Yasuge, who was, you know, Genghis Khan's father. So basically, Temujin forms alliances with those two to save his newlywed wife Borte from these raiders. They defeat the raiders. Borte, but is shown to be pregnant. Basically, sometime after. So when she's saved from the raiders, she is pregnant. So there were questions whether or not, when the kid was born, whether or not Temujin was the father or one of the raiders. That kid being Jochi. And so, but he called him his kid. Now, whether or not, so whether or not he actually cared for the kids, up can be is up for debate. Basically, because having this successor does help with securing your line, helps with securing your family and power. So it's possible that was what the purpose of it was, and you know, but I mean, but Temujin had a bunch of kids. Like there's a lot of people in that area where it's Mongolia, probably some areas of China that could trace their ancestry back to Genghis Khan, or at least possibly could. Then, and and then as he grew, as Temujin grew his following, he got a lot more wives. That was to form alliances, and basically. And, then he formed this whole political process where how he's divided up like a lot of the clans that's worked for him, how he like stationed their sons at different spots, almost like they're basically hostage positions, like to where they're hostage, but they're also become trained warriors and very good fight, like very good. So like basically, and over the years he fights. He goes to war with Jamuka, you know, because like basically they were the top two, but like they couldn't coexist. Like it becomes like a big like basically they go to war, and then like and so Jamuka won a victory over Temujin, and Temujin became a subject to the Jin Empire, but due to Jamuka's methods, Temujin gained a lot more support, and so like, and we see that different you know clans were served for each two. Then you know Togrul was basically the Kirites end up being merged with the with Temujin's side, and then basically like once the basically like, there's a lot like Togrul like he basically takes out those two like he takes out Jamuka takes out like he takes out Togrul's taken out first. He deals with the Kirites. Then he captures Jamuka, so he's being at the Battle of the 13 Sides. But Jamuka's betrayed, captured by his own men, who take him to Temujin. Now, Temujin valued loyalty, so yes, them taking Jamuka to him did benefit him, but he was not a fan of them betraying their master. He valued, so he had all them killed. Once he took Jamuka to him, he had them all killed because they were traitors. And as far as Jamuka, he possibly offered him, you know, chance for him to serve him, but Jamuka said that if he's still alive, you know, basically he would be like a burden to Temujin because basically all of his enemies would use him as like a figurehead, whatever. So he said he asked for to die, and so Temujin executes him without spilling any blood. Now, where it was, whether he like snapped his back, snapped his neck, or something, who knows? I don't think it's known exactly how it happened. But then with Temujin now, you know, having basically being the sole ruler of Mongolia, he becomes he adopts the title Genghis Khan. The meaning of the name's not necessarily known. So basically, he does a lot of these reforms. He very big on meritocracy of different people that serve him. So he deals with this coup attempt done by some shaman, deals with all that. And then he wages a war against the Jin Empire and the Khwarezmian Empire, like deals with them. And as he's conquering these nations, he basically like he would recruit some very warriors who like prisoners who of the enemy who proved themselves in battle. He would recruit them to serve him. So like there was one guy who shot his horse and trying to kill like Genghis Khan. And he basically after he asked who shot my horse, the guy raised his hand, admitted to it, and the guy and Genghis Khan admired him for his bravery and recruited him to his army. The guy became one of his generals. And the dude value loyalty. Like he would position people to make sure they wouldn't do anything. So some of his relatives couldn't necessarily trust. I mean, because once you get into royal families, a lot of them become they can't you can't even trust your own family at times if you're royalty. So he tries to position them to where they won't do uprisings, like and position like and so when Genghis Khan dies, his third son and his heir Ogedei becomes Khan, and you know, Ogedei continues the expansion of the empire, and basically he's not held, I guess, in as high a regard as because Genghis Khan. Obviously, he's very brutal. Because guess what? Every freaking all royalty back then was brutal. Like they all were brutal. Doesn't matter what area of the world, they were all brutal. They all did messed up stuff. Like they were all freaking messed up. Yeah. Like there was also yeah, they were brutal, but they were also very like Genghis Khan. Like the Mongols were freaking smart. They were intelligent, like politically, like military wise. Even when they were dealing with the army that had superior numbers, they could still win or get pretty close to winning. Like they were, they were good. Like Genghis Khan, would they didn't mess around. And so Ogedei continues the expansion. You know, he led invasions of Korea, completed the Jin Dynasty conquest, dealt with the Song Dynasty, then went to India, tried again, and then invaded parts of Europe, including, you know, eventually, obviously with, Russia eventually being part of the, Mongolian Empire. And, yeah, so, basically, yeah, he continues on. Then when he dies, there's a whole secession process that does cause problems, and yeah, and because like some of the nobles basically did not actually agree with his choice of successor, and yeah, so yeah, there basically covers a lot of it. dynasty, like the legacy of Genghis Khan. And yeah, this was a I'd say it was a pretty good like documentary, very informative. You know, the dramatized scenes that shows like the Mongols, like shows them all doing stuff. It's pretty entertaining to see all that. Doesn't like tr- doesn't like go too over the top with it. It's just showing the things how they were, like the wars, all the political stuff. It just shows it doesn't try to fictionalize anything. It's pretty freaking. You know, I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good series. Good 6 episode documentary covering that whole empire. I thought it was very good. Yeah, I think you know I think this is a decent documentary. I don't think it's one that's gonna get a lot of buzz. I mean, it's a documentary. Most of them don't get a lot of buzz. I mean, outside the rare few like Ancient Apocalypse, documentaries don't generally get a lot of buzz. But I think this was a good one, and I recommend it. So yeah, go on and watch it. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.